Welcome to the High-Tech Investments News Report for Week 21. The news report covers some of the many investments projects High-Tech Investments is currently involved in so you can follow our progress. We hope you will enjoy this news feed and look forward to your comments and remarks.
Hi, Bo here, and welcome back to this week's news report where once again, yes, you guessed it, it is time to have a look what happened actually last week. Last week looked like it was actually a very slow week here. Not too much profit was coming in, and then all of a sudden here comes Friday, the day that normally are a very relaxed day and anything can happen. But it looked like actually Trump and the US made a couple of new things, especially threatening here now EU with some more tariffs, and that's again sent the markets into turmoil. That means we also cashed in a bit here. Now, this is only one of the many things, obviously, we're going to have a look at in this news report for this week, because we have a range of new EAs. I've already mentioned some of them in here. That means more profits, means more diversification into different EAs, into different currency pairs. That's what this channel is all about. Try and spread your risk, and that's also why every single week we are showing you our results in here, exactly how well or how bad we have actually been doing. And we are now also documenting this, especially on the grid trading side in here. First, so you also can figure out how to do this yourself. And if it's still too complicated, well, you simply head over to the copy link service, and then you can copy our signals, but at least you have a very good background knowledge of what is actually going on, why the EAs that we have is trading the way they have. The latest video that we have done in here, well, that is this one. So, and again, this is now for the lucky trader in here. This is one of the best EAs, so really cashing in quite nicely. We're going to have a look how it did also for this particular week in here. But there's a lot more to it than just this, because we also need to go by with Alex and Expert Forex. Again, here the grid trading results. This also needs to be in. This is the new EA that we have out here. It had generation 1, 2, 3, and 4. So obviously we're going to talk a bit more about it. We have a lot of settings that you also can find in this particular video in here. They are also doing extremely well. So make sure that you watch the video all the way to the end so that you get all of these things, because even the new EA, so is the RSI. This is a simple one in here. We have set up also the first 10 over the weekend, and obviously we've got to add more. So that will go on to the US market later on, because there's only one trade open at the time. And from there on, we are obviously going to expand even further. It's exciting times. New EAs means new testing results. We can spread our risk even more. That's what investing is all about. And that's why you should watch this video all the way to the end. So make sure you do that. And then you will have a very good idea of what is actually happening, not just for the week, but overall. As you can see, many of the results is going back years. Now, you might not be fully surprised to hear that we haven't really heard, seen, or talked to the Yieldnodes team here for quite a while. No emails, anything else come out. The good part is that obviously the website is still up, and all we can do is go and have a look at the order coin reserves that we have in here. Again, checking up against last week, so week 20 against 21. We can see that there's new masternodes actually being added, quite a few still on the 777 in here. So we got about 11. Then we have 2 for the AZR. And if we go all the way down here to the PNY, this is the one we hold. We have 1 new masternode for the week. And then for the SAP, the so-called Rolls-Royce. So I'm not sure how much Rolls-Royce it is. Maybe it's a Mini Cooper instead. We have about 6 masternodes, extra one for this particular week. So now makes up the SAP 3,969. Clearly the most, apart from the 777 in here, that is coming up quite big also. But since there's no real value behind these coins here at the moment, there's not really much trading going on, as you can see in here. The red circle is where we left it last week, and that's pretty much at the same level we have again. There is a few movements, very little buying, some selling, and then a bit of buying again in here. It doesn't really change anything here at all, but still we are staking our SAP coins in here, and we actually managed to get 2,675 SAP for the week, or 2.4%. We now have 113,503 in here. May has not been as good as some of the other months, especially March was a great month, but still it's moving forward. And we also have the PNY in here. So that looks to be another good month with a 5.9% for the week, 7,049 PNY so far. And we now have more PNY coins in here than we have SAP, so 119,532. So it's moving in the right direction, and so is actually Bitcoin. So this particular week, we have a new all-time high for Bitcoin, so it's 112,000. Last week, we left it at about 103. So it had been in a bit of a limbo, and then after the week where everything with the tariffs basically were put on hold, it looked like slowly but surely in the week it creeped up to about 112. It has dropped slightly down below the previous average of about 110. So, but it is certainly a good number, and if you have any Bitcoin, then definitely this has been a good move for the past week. We also see some good moves still on the Wave Liberator for week 21, the top 5 EAs you have on your screen here, with the US Japanese at $41, 4.1%. This is a really good currency pair. Everybody used to keep away from the Japanese yen, but after we have made some changes, this is very good and stable. Euro USD came in at $34, 3.4%, with the Swiss francs Japanese, $28, 2.8%, and the same number also for the US Aussie USD, $28, 2.8%, and then Great British Pounds USD just after with $27, 2.7%, and this particular portfolio here for the week would have made you $159 or 3.2%. That is well beyond the 10% on the average part that we are normally looking for. This is the entire portfolio that we still have. Don't forget, we have 22 accounts, $10,000 each, but we are trading it as if it was on $1,000 accounts. We have total returns of 22.8%, so on this particular one, but normally the monthly returns for these portfolios in here is around 11% on $1,000 accounts, 3% on the weekly. Trade wins still okay, 67.8, so which is a very good average. Pips, well, we have almost 60,000 pips taken now, and the history is 643 days in here, so makes this a very, very good EA, and as you can see, extremely stable. Only the curve here from August last year when IG accounts had some issues, but most of these are on the copy link service. I mentioned last week here, there's a few we had to remove because of IG account issues again, but the numbers don't lie. If we have a look at how well we are doing every single week, you will see some very good numbers. The bottom number in yellow, 358, is the number for the week. It's slightly better than last week and the week before and the week before and so on and so on. We have to go all the way back to mid-April to find a better number. So we're happy with this. This is a good average, 358. We'll live with that one for this particular week. The RSI Liberator is also a bit on the slow side, and I mentioned in the beginning that trading was not happening too much anyway in the first 4 days. Great British Pounds USD came in at $33, 3.3%, so that's okay. Aussie USD, $24, 2.4%, and the same for Great British Pounds Japanese, $24, 2.4%, with the Aussie Japanese, $23, 2.3%, and then the CAD Swiss francs, $20, 2%, so that is a bit low, as you can see, $123 or 2.5%. Average, we're still on the mark of the 10%, so happy enough with that. We know that it might come back even better. Floating and profit and loss actually went up a bit here on Friday. Otherwise, it looked pretty much and has been basically going down for weeks now. We can see again the monthly returns on the $1,000 accounts would be 9%, 2% on a weekly return, and then trade wins is around 66.5, 27,000 pips taken so far, and then a history of 412 days. So plenty of information in here. So that's good to see. We can see the last jump here also on the graph itself. So that was the last terrace cashing in here big time. And it also plenty of EAs already on the copy link service. We'll try, and once we have set up some of the new EAs, we'll focus again on more signals for the copy link service. So you have a good chance of getting some of all these signals in here. So basically the number we have, as I mentioned, 243 this week, is a bit lower than what we saw in past week, 420. So that was a good one. Last week was slightly better. This week is slightly below on the average part. And again, that has something to do with the market. Don't forget, this is an indicator for overbought, oversold, but still cashing in quite nicely. The Hedge EA, that is also doing reasonably okay. None of them are in the high profit at the moment, but the Euro USD is at $55, 5.5%. So that's definitely past 20 in a month if that continues. The US CAD is at $38, 3.8%, with the US Swiss francs at $35, 3.5%. All of them very nice. Aussie USD, $29, 2.9%, and then Euro Swiss francs, $28, 2.8%, with $184 or 3.7% average for the top 5. So again, if this is your portfolio, you will have done very well for the week. The entire portfolio in here, again for the Hedge EA, we have 16 different accounts. We have a closed profit of 10,000, but the floating profit and loss also on this one has just gone up a bit again. So we need to get that one under control. The monthly return, as you can see, is around 15% on average. It really took a big jump during the last basically tax from the US in here on the rest of the world for the tariffs. A weekly return is around 4%, and the trade range is quite high, actually, with 70%. We have almost 19 trades per day, and now a history of 126 days, so more than 4 months, and obviously it keeps ticking. We already have some of the items on the coupling service that you can find on our website. So you can go in, have a look at these, see which ones are the ones that are working out the best for you. Otherwise, we'll put everything together. We have seen that the Hedge EA was quite low in the last couple of weeks. You can see 116, 91, 150. And this week it's actually a lot better, 257. So hopefully it will continue to rise a bit more. I believe the normal average should be around 300 or 400. And obviously the graph, so a very impressive part. So when the trade war started here last time, since then it's flattened out and it's gone back again. We're hoping that we are getting rid of some of all the drawdown, and then it can cash in big time again. Now, drawdown is not something that you have a lot of for the simple grid trading. For week 21, you'll also see the numbers are quite high. You can see the EuroCAD is actually the high jumper in here with $64 or 6.4%. Euro New Zealand, $57, 5.7%, with CAD Swiss francs at $43, 4.3%, and then Great British Pounds CAD, $43 also, 4.3%, and then the bottom of the top 5 here is Euro Swiss francs, $35, 3.5%, and this particular portfolio here for the week, $242, 4.8%. So we're very, very happy here with the simple grid trader. So it's really cashing in. And you can find a lot more details on our website. None of them are on the coupling service yet. They have just managed to get past 1 month in here, and you'll see more about that. History 39 days, as you will notice. There's a few days, I believe, where it didn't start. Now, these particular ones, they are on $1,000 accounts already, so you don't have to convert anything in here. So we have 20 accounts set up. You'll also notice that the equity is up, so 20,445, which is good. It's very early, so very nice the way this particular one runs. It doesn't run with big drawdowns. It cashes in every time, closes all the trades, and then starts over again. That's also why the drawdown can be kept under control. We have a total returns of 4%. The monthly returns is at the moment calculated to around 11.4 or 2.6% for the week. So that is quite good. Look at the trade wins. It's 78.8% at the moment. 10,000 pips has already been taken, and trades per day. Actually, not so many. It's very similar to the Bell Trader here, 8.8. And with a history of 39 days, it is still a very, very good EA, even though it's so new. Look at the numbers in here. Last week, we had high jumpers for 754. That was some leftover ones from the week. This week, we believe we are pretty much on the average where we expect to be, 436 for the entire portfolio. And you can see the drawdown is only a couple of thousand. So very much under control, and you could actually maybe even use a higher lot factor in here over time. We'll see. We still don't have enough information and data, but could be for the future. Now, in the past, we have already made these particular videos here for the grid trading that I mentioned in the beginning. You have the Forex grid trading explained exactly how we are setting this up, and also about the gaps and the lot sizes in order to minimize your risk, but then continue to keep your maximized gains up there. And then we started going over into the individual videos where we are looking at ride the money wave. So that is the wave liberator, and then know when to sell and buy. That is actually the RSI Liberator we have in here. And last week we actually rolled the Forex dice, and this is now the lucky trader that we have also added to the mix in here. I did mention in the beginning that this is one of the best EAs, and you will see exactly how you can do this on that video without any backtesting whatsoever. The numbers are already there. We are calculating it, and these are the numbers that you're actually getting out of it. So you can see it actually works. You don't have to waste a lot of time and energy on this. Great British Pounds USD comes in at $53, 5.3%. So not bad for not backtesting anything. This is our experience that we put into the task here. US CAD, $38, 3.8%. And then the US Swiss francs, $32, 3.2%, with the Euro USD at $30, 3%. And then Great British Pounds CAD coming in at a lower $23, 2.3%. But overall for that portfolio here also, it's creating $177, 3.5%. And again, 3.5% obviously is around 14% if you continue to have similar numbers. Sometimes, as we said, it could be a bit higher. Sometimes it'll drop a bit down. But at the end of the day, this is what the graph looks like. Please ignore the little spike in here. This is another one of IG account issues. We have a very good account that we have on here. It had, again, one of the faults set up from IG, where we had about 3,300 in plus, and then we had 3,300 in loss. So pretty much disaster when it comes to IG and their account things. We decided to keep this one because it's working extremely well, profiting, and also there's a lot of copy-link traders that are already on this particular one in here. We can see that the floating profit or loss, it has jumped up a bit, as I mentioned. All happened on Friday, 12,600. It's pretty much same as close to the profits at the moment. But overall here, monthly returns is around 12% on $1,000 accounts, with 3% for the weekly. Trade wins is around almost 70%, so that's nice, with more than 24,000 pips. Trades per day, 17, so it's very, very active. And then a history now of 204 days in here. Very, very happy with all this going on, and that's also why we have put a lot of these on the copy-link service. As you'll notice on our website in here, things are going well, things are going forward, and you'll also see it in the numbers down here. Lucky Trader is up. We had some lean weeks in here. Now it's up to 249, and we should be somewhere around the 300 mark, I believe, for these particular ones. Again, we have 16 accounts. That's why the total number is a bit lower, but we are considering adding a few more in here to make sure that we also get 20 accounts, because it is working really, really well, as you can see. The Bell Trader for week 21, that one is a bit on the slow side this particular week. I mentioned a few weeks ago that we now made some changes and setups, and I believe we'll most probably remove a couple of accounts in here also. You'll see the numbers quite low this week with the Euro Swiss francs, $33, 3.3%, with the Euro Great British Pound, $17, 1.7%, New Zealand CAD, $12, 1.5%, and then Aussie and New Zealand, $5, 0.5%, and then Aussie CAD, $4, 0.4%. A very disappointing $73, 1.8%, but then again, still making money, as I mentioned here in the beginning. Things are moving forward. And you'll notice also the floating profit or loss that really jumped up, especially here for the Bell Trader. Monthly returns is still around 8% on $1,000, 2% on the week. Trade wins are still high with almost 70%, 16,000 pips taken. Trades per day is the lowest, only around 7. history now, 175 days in here, and you can find some of the copy link service that we have here. These are the ones that are normally working the best, but as I said, we are pretty much removing a few of these because we are setting it up in a different manner, and I will do a video on that here in the future. Look at disappointing $73 down here compared to 386 last week. This has been a bit of a headache. So in the beginning, we did set it up for about 200 days. We have now made some changes again. We are doing it differently. I think that is the better way forward, but time will tell. We know we have a history of almost half a year now, and still we are struggling a bit with that one. So needs more work, needs some more time. And in the meantime, we're going to have a look at the new exciting RSI trading results here also. This is from Alex, an expert Forex. He has set up the new simple RSI, 86 in 5 days. Well, this particular video in here, it shows both where you have the fixed lot and then also where you have part of the equity. It can be 10, 15, or even 25%, depending on how brave that you are. That's why you get the high number of 86. Right now, what we are doing, we have set also up the first 10, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video here. And then we're going to add an additional 10. We know which currency pairs that we already want to add in here. So this is going to be a very mixed portfolio, but it's going to have a maximum exposure of 5 currency pairs. Actually, all the currency pairs have the same exposure, 5. So that also means that you don't have an overweight of US dollars or Japanese yen or Swiss francs, things like this. And then from there on, we'll take some of the best ones that we have in here and then also put them on equity. Unfortunately, that cannot be for the copy link service, but obviously we're doing that for our own real life trading. But we will also make some of the accounts available on our website as usual, so you can see more about what it is that we're doing, so you can do it yourself, of course. And then the winning settings for the simple RSI trader. Actually, Alex has already given you some of the details in here. We have just gone through some of the testing, and the testing is very, very simple. I will make sure I make a video of that also, but you can do the testing very, very quickly. And it's also very easy and visible to see exactly what it is happening. So I love this one here. Looks very good. Obviously, over time, we'll see if that actually transposes into a lot more money. Last but not least, also Alex has this particular one in here, some grid trading results. And this is the simple grid trader. Again, he is saying that overall the portfolio has taken about 26,000 pips already. He has a lot of them set up. You'll find a lot more details as usual. I'm sure that all the links for his videos is in the video description below. And then obviously the last part we need to do is go on the Expert Forex website in here, look at the account risk analysis. And as usual, I do apologize. There is a bit of a mix in here. Some of them should not even be here this week, but I cannot download the Excel. Alex seems to have changed something here. I don't know if that's on purpose or not, but you can see some of the accounts. For example, here, there's a 300 account. It had a floating profit or loss of minus 174. Shouldn't even be here. So that is way too high for just a $300 account. Other ones, there seems also to be some discrepancies in here that we don't like, and obviously we are comparing apples to apples. That means the $1,000 accounts that we have set up here, all highlighted in yellow. Floating profit and loss, we want to have them below minus 300. We want to have the total negative weeks in 8 weeks. It should not be more than 300, and you can look down the road here. They are very, very low, especially for hours. You have minus 2, you have minus 16, 27, 27, 4, 8. So these are very good numbers. Return on drawdown, they have to be more than 200, otherwise they don't have an interest. And then gains in the last 8 weeks, high to low. And again, our signal is on top here, 91%, doing extremely well with very low floating profit and loss. And again, you can see the next one, 70%, 41, 166 is at 31%, 30, 28%. So really, really good numbers. And that's also what I mentioned to you before. You can do your own trading, then mix it up with some of the copy links in here to make sure that you diversify your portfolio. And then you should be good for the future. So this is what we had for you in this week's news report. As you can see, it is exciting times. There's a lot of EAs, there's a lot of profits. It keeps coming in. It doesn't really matter if prices go up or down. Yes, we get some drawdowns, but I have already explained in my latest videos in here how we actually going to manage drawdown to make sure that we don't crash all the accounts in here. So it can be scary at times, but especially when you look at the videos, you understand exactly how this has been set up. Then hopefully you'll be able to relax. Like me here also, I sleep a lot better now with the new system in place. Yes, I might have given away 1 or 2%, but at the end of the day, we are not crashing the accounts. At the end of the day, they will continue to work, hopefully for a very long time. And if one should go down, it doesn't matter too much because we have so many other accounts still cashing in. Overall, we are moving forward, and that's what this channel is all about. Make sure the diversification is good in here. So set up your own robots and then add in also part of the best copy link service. That's another way of basically spreading the risk all the way over. We are making sure every single week we are doing these reports for you so you can see which ones are the best ones, which ones you should maybe keep away from at times. But good news here is that pretty much everything is making money. It's just a matter of how much, but we are not in basically a hurry here. So to go and become a billionaire tomorrow, that will simply crash too many accounts. Slow and steady builds the race. So if we can get somewhere around 8 to 12%, that is actually very reasonable. On the average, maybe even 10. So that is all good. And that's what you can see. Many of the EAs are actually producing. 1 month they might be down, the next month they might double up. So that is the nature of the Forex market in here, and that you have to be obviously aware of, which you would be if you are watching these videos every single week, every single month, every single year. Then you will have a very good understanding of what is actually happening in the market. So please give me a thumbs up and a like, and I'll hope to see you on one of my next videos. Until then, bye-bye.
I hope you enjoyed our news report. So please don't forget to like and add your comment below, as we would love to get your feedback. But before you go, make sure you subscribe to the channel and don't forget to keep the notification bell turned on. That way, you will never miss any of our future videos. We hope to see you back on this channel very soon.